Awesome. Okay, so happy Wednesday. Yes, in Beaumont it is raining, but as long as it continues to bring nice temperatures, I think we'll deal with it. All right, so today we are going to do a quick mini session on 9 quick tips to boost your productivity. Everybody is always trying to be as efficient as they can be. So hopefully you can implement one or some of these little tips in your businesses to help you get the most out of each day. As I mentioned to you, Christy, we've got our friends on Zoom in our Mont Bellevue office. So I'm excited that they're on board. You may see me move over here to chat with them if they have a question or any kind of comment or feedback, but hopefully they'll have some good stuff to contribute as well. So let's dive in. Okay, so no surprise, I always start this way, mission and vision. And I do it for a few different reasons. One of the reasons is I think it's great to share with you guys who we are and what we're about and what we hope to be. And I also do it as a way to inspire you guys to think about what your own mission and your own vision statements are for the way that you want to run your businesses. And in your lives as well. So our mission, of course, is to empower and create opportunities for our agents to live an abundant life. And our vision, we aspire to be the home for ethical, high-minded, and motivated professionals who not only are committed to achieving their professional aspirations, but also their personal aspirations. Values, same thing. This is on a company level, but hopefully they'll get you thinking about your own values in your own business and what you stand firm on and what your principles are. I love this because these show up daily in the interactions that I see taking place among our agents in the office and outside of the office. And it's just a really, really great thing to be a part of. Now, beliefs, same thing. This is not our full list by any means, but it is a good bit of them. The one in blue is the one that's most relevant to our discussion today, and that is that we believe focus is the key to success. What we're going to talk about today are those easy tips on how to get the most out of our efforts every day so that we can be as productive as possible. And so here's what you can do to make sure that you get the most out of our discussion. Maintain your focus, right? And keep an open mind. You may have heard some of these before in different development type of situations or training sessions. Keep an open mind anyway. It may strike you differently today. Try to limit your distractions like your cell phone or anything else that could be pulling your attention away. And then write down anything that stands out to you. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Track your time. And we talk about this in Momentum in our courses and how important it is to make sure that we're investing our time in those vital activities that really move the needle in terms of getting us where we want to be in our businesses. So the first step is to know what you're spending your time on the most. And to do that, you want to be able to track your time. This helps you become more accountable for the time that you're spending. Accountability for us as a staff right now is a big, big focus. We are trying to come up with all sorts of different ways to make sure that we're doing the most that we can in our positions and improving our positions so that we can be operating at our best level to help our agents operate at their best level. So accountability is a big deal. You know, training and lecturing only goes so far, and a lot of it's really kind of useless without that accountability piece, right? So how do we do it? A couple of different ways. You can use a time tracker like Toggl. Toggl is a free app that is in your smartphone app store. It's basically just a time tracker. It helps you take notes of what you did in a certain hour or half hour or 2 hours to really help you see on paper where your time is going and if that's really your best use of time. You could do something like a time journal. So write it out and keep track of the activities that you did within a certain time frame, whether it's on an hourly basis or in time blocks. Whatever you're comfortable with, the whole goal here is to keep track of it to see where your time is being spent and if the return is what you're wanting it to be based on your investment in those activities. It'll also encourage you to focus on completing those projects in a timely manner. It kind of, I think, for me, tricks me into thinking, okay, I have a deadline. You know, I've got a deadline that I need to get through with this task by 2 o'clock today, and then I can move on. So sort of along that same train of thought. And then plus, it's a lot harder to kind of go down all these different rabbit holes like Instagram and Facebook and the internet and news and whatever else can draw our attention away if you know that the clock is ticking. It's a clock that you've set for yourself, but if you've set it for yourself, then we owe it to ourselves to see it through, to finish what we start. Do you track your time or keep any kind of time journal or anything along those lines? Have you ever had to do it in the past?
No.
No? Okay.
I've always just, been on my own and managed my own time. I'm pretty good at it.
Good. So are there any...
I do spend too much. Yesterday, I spent too much time on that design center.
Did you?
Yeah, I was trying to post the virtual tour on Instagram. It wouldn't let me.
Oh, yeah, because
I spent so much time, and then I realized it's not working. Move on. Like, do something else, because I was getting so frustrated.
Call me.
So much time.
Call me next time,
okay.
And we can hopefully walk through that and figure out how to get it where you want it to be.
Okay.
So let me ask you, in the past then, were there things that you did, so did you use a calendar then? Is that how you managed your time, or did you have a to-do list or any kind of tools, or did you just know? So you were just one of those that just knew what you wanted to accomplish. So good for you. Good for you.
But I should now. I can't wait for that thing to come out in the spring of 2019 to manage.
The CRM?
Yes.
Boosh? Yeah.
I never used one of those before, and now it's so big with businesses, and now I'm like, I've got to learn that. And I'm so glad it's going to be coming out, because I will use that next year.
I think it's going to be fantastic. Everything that Remax has published about it and the videos that I've watched about it, it's going to be incredible. So it's going to be a nice resource to help you keep track of those in your network, but also help you stay on top of those things that are really important.
Yeah.
Great. For me, the way I track my time, it's on a calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it generally doesn't happen. And that's what holds me to it. I like whenever I can say, yep, I did that, because I've got a setting on my Google Calendar that when an event is finished, it will kind of lighten up saying, okay, that's done. It's not bold anymore. So it's like, oh, it's so fulfilling. Yes, I accomplished what I set out to accomplish. So let's look at number 2. You want to say yes to do not disturb mode. Again, almost all smartphones have this feature, and this can do wonders for your workday. It's really simple. If you have an iPhone, you'll just swipe up and you'll see the little moon right here, and that puts your phone on do not disturb mode. When that happens, all of your notifications and incoming calls will stop. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get them. You're just not going to be interrupted or notified that you have these notifications. I love do not disturb, especially when I go home at 8 o'clock in the evening. My do not disturb mode is scheduled to turn on, and it stays that way until 6 a.m. the next morning, because I don't want to hear an email ding on my phone whenever I'm trying to spend time with my family.
Or sleeping. I just turned mine off at night. I didn't know that there was that on my phone. That's
absolutely. Do not disturb is great. You can
start using. I just been turning it off.
There you go.
Any little text.
Any little anything.
Wake me up and then I can't go back to sleep.
It's the worst, right?
Where is that?
So it's if you go to settings and then just scroll down on the main menu of options, and you're going to see do not disturb with the little moon, and you can schedule a time frame that you can make a recurring event. So every day mine is set to start do not disturb at 8 p.m. and then it turns off at 6.
Do not disturb.
Yes, ma'am. So this is awesome. I highly recommend that. It's great, especially when you're trying to focus on something else. For me, it's spending time with my family, so that allows me to fully focus on what I'm trying to do. Hey, guys, come on in. We're just talking about how great Do Not Disturb mode is on your phones.
Okay.
Do you guys use it? Yeah, it's the best. No problem. Okay, so any questions so far on those 2 tips? Okay, we're good to go. So let's talk about number 3 then. You want to give yourself a break, and it's okay to give yourself a break. And honestly, whenever you take those breaks that are planned, it's going to help keep you sharp. You're not going to feel so weighted down by the events on your calendar or the things that you know that are on your to-do list that are in your mind. So make sure that you're taking those planned breaks. You can also try to take what you know is a large undertaking, a large task, and break it up into smaller bits that you can scatter throughout the day so that it's not so daunting and that it's not something that you're just, bogged down with for half a day or longer. This will also allow you to kind of allow for relief, those little breaks where you can kind of stop, pause, reset. I do this. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys try to do this as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you try to do it?
I'm like a big list person.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like just break up my stuff like a few per day instead of trying to get 20 things done on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of break it up.
Good.
And so that seems to.
Don't you love the satisfaction of checking a box on a list?
I like to quickly check it off.
Me too. It's so satisfying. It's like, oh man, I killed today. I knocked off all 5 of those things. So that's great, Alex. It's really, really great. Mont Bellevue, if you were unable to hear Alex, she said instead of trying to handle 20 things that she knows she needs to accomplish over the course of a week, she'll break them out 5 per day because it makes it more manageable for her to mark things off of her list. She loves lists like most of us in the room do. So that was the way that she tries to give herself a break. I'm doing this right now, you guys. You may or may not have received an email from me recently about your websites. Of course, whenever you're with RE/MAX, you know that you get an agent website. And there's some key points that you want to make sure that you have on your site so that you have the best possible exposure if somebody's looking for you. And so with over 100 agents, that could be a pretty daunting task. And so what I do is I've broken it up. I take about 30 minutes to an hour a day, and I just work through them. And I think as of yesterday, I've gotten through 96. But it takes focus. It really does. It takes focus and saying, okay, for this hour, I'm only going to do this. And it's so wonderful to know that I've been able to communicate with 96 of you guys. And it's an ongoing thing. It's going to go throughout the week because we've got Nederland, we've got Bridge City, we've got Mont Bellevue. So it's a pretty long task, but it's broken into manageable bits so that it's easier to take on and it's not so overwhelming every day. Number 4, learn to say no. So we said yes to do not disturb, but we're going to say no to pointless meetings. Now, I know that we only have so much control over the meetings that we get invited to and the ones that we're expected to participate in. But you want to do what you can to cut out any meetings that you know don't have a set purpose or a defined agenda or a desired outcome that you're trying to get results for. You will be absolutely blown away by how much time this will save you if you learn to say no to meetings that you know really either shouldn't be happening at the time that they're happening, or maybe they go on for 2 hours and they can really only should take 30 minutes. Learn to identify what's truly going to help you in your business and where you should invest your time, and then say no to anything that kind of violates that. Okay. When we're doing this, we are remaining what? Intentional. That makes you intentional with your time. You want to protect it. It is the number 1 resource that you have in your business. Okay. And I would argue even in your life. Okay. Number 5, let others help you. This, I think a lot of us are strong personalities and we want to handle everything that we can ourselves. This is a hard thing for me on a personal level too, to let people help me. Let others help you. When you're trying to be super productive, what can happen is that sometimes you can bite off more than you can chew because that's just your nature. You want to conquer it all. You just want to take on as much as you can because you can do it. But you can also become burnt out that way. So it's sort of a balancing act, right? You want to take on as much as you can, but you don't want it to affect you to where you feel overwhelmed or burnt out or exhausted. So there are people around you who can help you. And you will find that you'll be more effective if you let your team function as it should. And your team could be your family, right? Whether it means help, bringing the kids in to help you with your list of chores for the day, or delegating it out, or trying, to split up those things that you want to accomplish on different days of the week so that it's not so much. So let your team function as it should. So that means every member is going to participate, right? They're going to do their part, but they're also going to take ownership of that. They're going to take ownership of what they're supposed to be doing or their tasks, but they also should be taking ownership of the results, right? Because there's an expectation that we all have. We talk about it. This is what we want to accomplish. So go out there and do it, but then, hey, also take responsibility for the results that you're going to get, or maybe you're not going to get. So let other people help you if you're able to. And that could be people within your family. It could be friends. It could be people on your team, other people in the office, staff, whatever that looks like for you. Wherever you need help, let them help you. Is that hard for anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a resounding yes from the room in here, you guys. So I'm glad to know that I'm not alone. Okay, number 6. Focus on the necessities. So you guys know sometimes the very task that we're trying to do, that can be the thing that's distracting us, right? So we want to make sure that we're focusing on those right to-dos or those vital activities by creating a list. Alex, this speaks straight to you, of the most essential tasks that you need to complete. So what are the most important things? If you get nothing else done that day, what are the 3 or 4 things that have to happen? That's what that list should look like, okay? Those are the essential things that have to be done. And so the good thing is, once you finish those things that would be crucial, right, or time sensitive especially, then you can attend to those other things on your list without feeling guilty about the things that you maybe didn't get to accomplish, right? So try to focus on those vital activities. If you're unsure what those vital activities should be whenever you're working with a buyer, or what those vital activities should be if you're working with a seller, let me know. We've got classes for that. They're called Vital Activities for Buyers, Vital Activities for Sellers. And there's literally a checklist of 47 things. These are the things that are vital to your business when working with either of those two sides. Okay. Number 7, step away from your desk. Honestly, something as simple as just walking away from it for 5 minutes and taking a phone call outside or switching up your scenery can do the trick. It makes a huge difference, especially if you're ever feeling stuck. Maybe you guys are in the middle of a really complicated deal and the contract is crazy and you've already looked at it for 3 hours and you're just stuck. You don't know what else needs to be done or what can be done. I would recommend just standing up for a minute and going for a walk, step outside the room, talk to somebody else, just change up the scenery. It can really put you in a much better frame of mind whenever you return back to that task. Have y'all tried this before? Yeah. And you think it helps? I do too. Okay, number 8. You want to force optimism. And that sounds kind of weird, but it's sort of like fake it till you make it. You want to convince yourself that negativity is not an option, even though it's easy, right? It's an easy trap to fall into where you're overwhelmed and your to-do list is a mile long. But showing optimism about those tasks, even if you don't feel like it, it's going to increase your confidence level in yourself to make sure that you feel like you can complete those assignments. Even if you're looking at it and you're like, there is no way I'm getting that done today. If you tell yourself you're going to get it done, you'll be surprised how far that goes. I love this so much because you guys know, we live in such a busy world, and we know that we're being pulled in 1,000 different directions. So it's easy to kind of have that self-talk where it's like, I've got mom guilt, or I'm failing at this, or I just feel like I'm not getting anything done with my friends or my family. Tell yourself, these are the things that I get to do today. It's my business. So Instead of things that you have to do, think of it like these are the things that I get to do. Just a simple change in perspective. And it goes a long, long way. Okay, that leads us to number 9. Capitalize on your critical hours. How many of you are morning people? Okay. So then for those of you who are not, myself included, I am my best in the afternoon. And I know that about myself. For whatever reason, my mind doesn't fully start functioning at all cylinders until about 10:30. I don't know if that's when coffee has time to kick in or what the deal is, but I'm not going to handle my biggest task between the hours of 8 and 10. It's just not going to happen because I'm not my best. And I want to be able to put my best foot forward on those things that are truly important and the things that I need to be operating at my highest level. And so you're more productive when you spend your best hours on your most demanding tasks, okay? So this will also help you to get more work done in the same amount of time. So plan your toughest work during your most productive time of the day. And you guys know that, right? Everybody knows what your own rhythms are. You know when you're not quite there, and you know after 5 o'clock, you have no attention span. So challenge yourself to fill up those hours where you are killing it with those things that are the most demanding of you, whether it's a listing appointment and you have to go in there or maybe you're in a competing situation and it's time to negotiate. That's when you should be having those conversations whenever you can. Okay, so to sum all of these little 9 tips up, productivity is really just about making sure that we optimize every minute of our day so that we can keep our mind sharp and keep our task list moving along smoothly. Okay, so even though your job sometimes could feel overwhelming or your family life or whatever the case may be, implementing just 1 or 2 of these tricks can make a big, big difference in both the quality and efficiency of your work. Also, little bonus for you guys, who has an iPhone? Okay, all of us. So I recently updated my phone within like the last 2 days. And did you guys see the feature called Screen Time?
Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing when it told me how much I spent on there. I was like, okay.
I agree. So
so
same
bad.
here. I was horrified in how much of my day
How much?
that I'm not going to repeat that number. You'll never get it out of me. But it is so wonderful though, because you can say, I only want to spend an hour or whatever the case on social media per day. And it's going to tell you after you've done your hour, hey, your time's up. But what's nuts is I was like, okay, so that's what my thing is Instagram. I'm on it way too much because I just love it. And you can go down all these rabbit holes for hours.
Yes.
So with Instagram, I thought, okay, I'm going to set my screen time limit. Oh no, it's not just Instagram. It's all of your social apps, Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and they all kind of dim out.
Feel better, at least.
Yeah, it's all of them.
Okay. All right, well.
It's
7
all of
hours
them.
isn't that bad, I guess. It said 7 hours and 11 minutes, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to be on my phone. But I'm like, I work from my phone, my job's my phone, so y'all work 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing. Though. That's a long time. I felt like that was a long time.
It is a long
And
time.
then once to even make people worse, it's like you're 2 hours above average today. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
What are you really doing with your time?
Get away from me.
I know.
Right?
I
don't have
know.
that on my Android.
So my point in all of this is that it has made a huge difference at home. Because how often do you guys go to a restaurant and you see a couple at a table and they're literally not talking to each other? They're just doing this. They're on their phone. They're on some stupid app that is not important, and it's certainly not more important than the person in front of them.
Right.
And that's such a trap to fall into. My husband and I especially, he gets home, we go through the motions of we get the babies fed, we get them to bed, and then it's like, okay, and then we go straight to our phones. And we don't talk to each other. And he's like, I don't even know what you did last week. You look up and you're thinking, oh my gosh, so I don't want to be married to this thing. I want to have a relationship with people in my life.
Yeah.
So I am all about this screen time thing, but I was thinking it's a great way for you guys also kind of like do not disturb mode. It also will help you remain focused on spending your time on your phone, either talking to people, texting them, having conversations, rather than just scrolling mindlessly through these apps that we can get so caught up in. So little bonus there, because it's new for me and I'm loving it. And it was like, time's up. You've spent enough time on Pinterest today. And I'm like, oh, but I really like those shoes. But okay. And then I put it away and then it's done until the next day. And that's in settings too. It's settings and then general, and it just says screen time, and you can set it if you want to do 2 hours that day. That's fine. But mine is, I think, an hour and a half total. So, any questions on these tips that we covered? Are there any tips and tricks that you guys utilize in your own lives, your own businesses, that you feel help your productivity?
Mine's just like a mental battle. Like I just have to I just don't give myself a choice. Like I just say, you're going to do this.
Good for you.
Because I think that internally I'm probably really lazy. You know, like I could Netflix all day and be okay with that. And that's not healthy, you know? So I have to tell myself, you're going to, you know.
You're going to do this.
Yeah,
So you operate purely on your willpower.
Oh, yes.
You're amazing.
The battle inside every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Especially on a day like today where Netflix sounds amazing with a big blanket and socks.
Days are the worst, but I'm like, do it. Just
get up and do it.
Yeah, that's what I told myself this week. I made a new thing, and I was like, I'm just falling into a trap. I was like, I need to do something work related every single day. It doesn't matter what it is. Since our job's really easy just to pick and choose. You know?
You're right.
And I was like, I'm gonna do something real estate related every single day.
And how's that worked out for you?
I'm on day 3 strong. Here
Yay.
I am.
So proud of you. So what of the 3 days, if you don't mind, what have you done that's been real estate related? Like today you're in training. Yay.
And I did the poker run. We did it.
Y'all went on the poker run for the open house. How was that?
It was fun.
Was it? Cool.
And
Cool.
then yesterday I had a showing and something else. And then
Great.
Monday I went to a networking group.
Awesome. Okay.
And so I've done something every day.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel better.
Good. Feel like you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Proud of you. That's great. So Alex, you said lists are your BFF. You love a list. I'm the same way. Love it. Christine, what about you? So you guys are a lot of the same. You guys are all up here. For me, it's a calendar. I've got to have a calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
But not everyone operates that way.
Yeah, when I started with Jennifer, she was like getting us these nice, fancy leather planners, and I was thinking like,
girl, I am not gonna use that.
She asked me, she's like, "Do you still keep a planner?" I'm like, "In my phone," you know? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the opposite. Like I have to write it down. I want to like physically put a check mark next to it.
Yes.
If I can do that on your phone, like,
It's not the same. I know. I'm right there with
wish
you.
I was like y'all.
like,
My mom gave me a huge calendar, and she just asked me the other day. She goes, "So how's the calendar going?" I went, "Well, I don't." She goes, "You haven't even used it once, have you?" I was like,
I keep a
No.
giant one on my desk of like my bills and stuff, you know, so I can see
I
that.
live on a planner.
But
If I lose my planner, I like go into panic.
that's
I would not
Jennifer.
know what to
Jennifer's
do.
like that. She like has a list every single day. She wakes up, she writes the date on there at the beginning of this, and
Wow.
she keeps a spiral notebook inside of her planner
Yeah, she's more
with the
like
checklist and like,
I'm kind of in the middle.
no, I'm
"That's
not.
good."
Yeah.
Okay. So fascinating stuff. It's so funny how we each have our own routines, and we talk about that a lot. It came up in our mastermind last week, and Charlie, he recently changed his whole morning routine. He read a great book. It's The Miracle Morning. Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong. Miracle Morning, where he said it's just you make it about the things that are important to you. And so one of the things that's new that he tried, he's getting up an hour earlier than what he normally does so that he can do his exercise that he does every day, because that's important to him and the things that are valuable for himself. And then he has coffee, and then he gets to sit down with his wife Blair, and they just have one-on-one for I think half an hour. And he said it's made the biggest difference because it's made him intentional about the way that he's spending his time and starting his day.
Right.
You guys know if your day starts in a way that you feel rushed, or if something goes wrong, your whole day is affected, and the way that you operate is affected. So the whole idea behind the book is starting your day off on the best foot that you can for you, based on your needs and what you hope to accomplish. He also, he writes thank you notes in the morning. He writes positive affirmations. So he's got his whole system. You guys should talk to him about it, because it's really inspiring and it's really cool. It makes my morning routine look like a hot mess. So mine revolves around 2 little toddlers right now. But anyway, and when I asked our mastermind group last week, I said, how many of you guys have a morning routine? And they were like, oh yeah, I do. I was like, how do you guys have a routine each day? Like, once you're at the office or your day starts, do you have a routine? And they're like, no. I said, really? So they all start their morning the same way, but they don't have a set way that they plan their days, which is so funny to me. But you know, and for me, like, I'm a calendar person, and they're like, okay, but you know, we don't always have a choice when our phone rings or what comes up or whatever else. But you know, like Dana Johnson, she's a sticky note person. She's got to have sticky notes, and that's how she operates. I don't. That would give me anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, I like just really concise, like a planner, I guess. But for me, my phone. You like sticky notes? Yeah, for sure. Rita, Charlie, anything that you guys want to add before we wrap this up? They're so cute. So start today in pieces and finish on Monday. Can we get a little video? Oh, they wanted a video. Oh gosh, not today, guys. Haha. Maybe next time. And they said that we love it. Okay, well, we love y'all, and thank you so much for hopping on Zoom. I hope that you guys can implement a few of these things to help your days run smoother. And if you have any feedback after the fact, please feel free to reach out. And the same for you guys. If there's anything that you think about later that you felt like has been great for your business, feel free to share it. And we will hope to see you guys. This email put us in charge of our day. What does that mean? Oh, like, are you talking about if you wake up and immediately check your email on your phone? Who does that? Anybody?
What?
Okay, so good.
Email on your phone?
So a lot of times, yeah, so that's what they're talking about. So how often is it that you wake up in the morning, you grab your phone, and you open your email?
I look at all my notifications. So
Me
if
too.
there's a
Okay,
but I only have notifications for my work email, not my
your personal.
right.
Okay.
So if I have a work email, you know, Jennifer emails us a lot.
Mhm.
So if I get on there, or you know, every Monday we have the
Mhm.
emails from y'all, and I'll look
Yeah.
at that. But
Okay. Do you feel like that has an effect on how your day gets started? Good or bad?
Depends on what the email.
Depends on what the
that's where
email
about
is.
25 minutes of my screen time comes from is I wake up,
And you're on your
check
email.
all my stuff.
So I would challenge you guys then, okay, here's where the challenge comes in. I would challenge you guys not to check your email until you've gotten through your morning routine. So make that not a part of your routine, because here's what happens. What if it's not a good email, okay? And it's not one, maybe it's bad news, and something falls apart, and then guess what? Your whole morning is kind of like womp womp, and that could bleed into your day. So why not start your day off positively, whether it's I get these little motivational emails that come in. Do you guys do the Darren Hardy, the Darren Daily emails? They're so great. If you like, I'll forward you one that he sent today, and then y'all could subscribe. It's totally free. And they're just quick little videos on, you know, how to be the exception, to be better. I love them. But anyway, start your day off in a way that you set yourself up to be awesome the whole day. And part of that is not hopping on email and just reacting, because that's what our instinct is to do, is to check our phone, check our email, and react, versus going about our planned day and accomplishing those things on our list that we set out to accomplish. Okay, so challenge accepted. Okay, good question, Mont Bellevue. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for being here today. Tomorrow at 10:15, we're going to cover prospecting for sell by owners. And it's all about the way to incorporate value in those conversations. opening the door to as many relationships as possible. And then tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., we're going to do our mastermind group 2. If you're in that group, you will get an email from me this afternoon that reminds you of that mastermind. So stay tuned, and then keep an eye on the calendar and Back Agent for all the goodies coming next week. Okay. Perfect. Y'all have a good day. Thank you again, Mont Bellevue.